It's the International Soccer Preview. We are Soccerphiles Canada. Here we go. Hello and welcome to the International Soccer Preview by Soccerphiles Canada. I'm Kevin and this is Series 32 on the players of the 2026 World Cup. This episode covers Ecuador's players. Move on to Section 3 and review those names. We threw out a lot of names, so it would be nice to put them all together there. And we are doing that also for the short version of the mediacast for people who just want the brass tacks there. And then we have a few other orders of business to follow. But let's do the review. We begin with manager Sebastian sorry, I keep forgetting how to pronounce his name. Sebastian Becachese is their current manager, came in after the 2024 Copa America. I guess they were not happy with the result there, even though they took Argentina to penalties in the quarterfinals, and I wouldn't blame them for losing that game. But Felix Sanchez was the manager, and it cost him his job. So Sebastian Becachese in. Goalkeepers, we have two definite candidates here, Hernan Galindez and Moises Ramirez. A likely candidate in Gonzalo Valle and a possible candidate in Christian Lohr. We're not going to actually mention the candidates at the possible but unlikely or seemingly off the squad level. It just kind of confuses things really, and they probably won't get selected. However, if you are watching the YouTube feed, you can look at those names. Let's go on to defenders. Well, we kind of recategorized a little bit for Ecuador because their players move around the field so much. Basically, Alan Franco has played virtually every position, so we made a brand new category for him called Versatile Player. He's a definite candidate and may be found anywhere on the field. And then we have two versatile defenders coded as central defenders, but they also play as right or left backs. We covered that in Section 2. So the definite candidates there are Piero Incape and Joel Ordonez. So keep an eye out for Franco, Incape, and Ordonez, as they may not be playing in their coded positions. Now we go to players coded as and playing as central defenders. Two definite candidates, William Pacho and Felix Torres. None at the likely level, but two at the possible level, Javier Arriaga and Leonardo Rialpe. And we'll go to left backs next, and we have a definite candidate in Pervis Estupiñán. And two likely candidates, Yeimar Medina and Christian Ramirez, and a possible candidate in Joana Chavez. For right backs, we have a definite candidate in Angelo Preciado, and that's all we have over here at the possible level or above. But I should say we do have some of the players that we mentioned as versatile players earlier on. Moving on to the midfield, we have a definite candidate in Moises Caicedo. No candidates at the likely level, but a possible candidate in Jordi Alcivar. Central midfielders, definite candidate Pedro Vite, and likely candidate Daniel Castillo, and Darwin Gagua is a possible candidate here. Up we go to attacking midfielders. We've moved players around a bit. I won't get into the reasoning, but we did our best. We've put Kendry Paez as a definite candidate on the left side here, even though he's coded as a right attacking midfielder. Three likely candidates, forward Nilson Angulo, right attacker Alan Minda, and left attacking midfield where he belongs, John Mercado. Over to the players who have been playing on the right, we have a definite candidate, John Yeboah, and the likely candidate Gonzalo Plata, and possible candidate Brian Ramirez. Central attackers, usually it's central midfielders playing this role, or it could be players like Paez or Plata, or who's the other one I see there a lot? Anyway, Paez or Plata. The only candidate coded here is Patrick Mercado, and he's at the possible level. Let's finish with forwards. A definite candidate in Ener Valencia, he's captain of the team, and also Kevin Rodriguez, more of a substitute, but a definite candidate. None at the likely level, and finally 2 at the possible level, Leonardo Campagna and Jeremy Aravallo. All right, that is our race through the squad. Let's move on to big names off the squad. We have a few to talk about. I just got to find my spot here. There I am. We begin with goalkeeper Alexander Dominguez. We won't go into a long history. We'll just try to give the vital facts. He's actually 39 years old now. He was captain of the team and with Ecuador since 2011 with 77 caps. Needless to say that all of these players have been involved in the tournaments that Ecuador has been involved with over the time, so I don't need to go through them. I'll just say that the last time Alexander Dominguez appeared was as a starter in the 2024 Copa America there. So goalkeeper Alexander Dominguez, one of the players off the squad. Next we have Carlos Gruezo. Actually always a bit on the fringes of the team, never really a starter in tournaments, but he's been around since 2014 with 64 caps. He's actually just 31 years old, but last appeared in November 2024, Carlos Gruezo. Angel Mena is the next one, also a veteran with 61 caps and 7 goals. With the team since 2015, but is now 38 years old. So he joined the team a bit late. And again, part of tournaments. Again, not so much a starter for him. But he last appeared in November of 2024, even though he did score a goal for this World Cup qualifying campaign. So both he and Gruezo off in November 2024. I'm going to put manager Felix Sanchez on the list here. Again, I may not know all the details, but it seems a bit harsh to me that he was basically hired in 2023 with the hope of staying for a long time, and then he got fired after they lost in the quarterfinals on penalties to Argentina. I mean, I don't think that's a huge crime. Anyway, Felix Sanchez, it cost him his job, so he's a big name off the squad. I do consider him a fairly big manager there, especially with his association with Qatar and the Aspire Academy. Finally, I'm going to put Jeremy Sarmiento on the list. For several reasons, he shouldn't be here. He's only 24 years old. He has only 24 caps, which is actually impressive for his age. And he was on the team since 2021. He was a starter in the Copa America, but then suddenly looked to have a very promising career with Ecuador. But then from November 2024, he was not called up. And I'm going to try to look into that and get a bit more information. But again, I just want to kind of note that he's off the squad. I said in section 2, though, that I wouldn't be surprised if he came back into the team there. So he's not aged out or anything. Let's go on to injuries. And we have a few to contend with. First one is likely candidate and forward Nilson Angulo. And he's out with a muscle injury from mid-March and an unknown return date. We're hoping to be updating these, in part 2. But for now, an unknown. Next, we have Leonardo Campagna. He is a forward at the possible level. He has been out with a hamstring injury since late March and an unknown return date. So that's a pretty recent injury. Hopefully we can update it in part 2. We'll put him in the unknown category. Have I got the hiccups? Oh no. Finally, we have Johanner Chavez. A bit of a narrative on this one. Had one problem after another that kept him out for most of the season since August of 2025. First, it was an ankle sprain. He did recover, but didn't see any field time for his club. And before he saw a blade of grass, he was injured again in early December with a dead leg. And then he was covering from that. But for 5 weeks in February and March, he was listed as out for fitness. I'm using air quotes there. That's what it said on the injury page. That does seem a long time to be recovering or gaining fitness. So not dead sure what it means. However, he should return from that soon. So we're expecting him back in April 2026. So Johanner Chavez. We'll put him in the expected back category. That's it, and let's move on to closing thoughts. Well, as I was preparing this, and even as I was doing it, I'm very impressed with some of the club affiliations that that Ecuador has, especially in the defensive end of the field, and their defense actually looks quite awesome. And I see, in friendlies and in World Cup qualifying, they were very stingy in defense, didn't give up many goals there. So I'm not sure people are aware that they have the quality of club affiliations that they have. But it's obviously what earned them second place is it third place? Anyway, a high position in the qualifying campaign, despite a 3-point penalty. So I think Ecuador may come in a little bit as dark horses, people thinking that they don't have as much quality as they do. I'm looking forward to see how they do. Okay, that's Ecuador. We're going to move on to I should have had the closing thought graphic. There it is. Now we're moving on to the graphic for previewing part 2, which we will release when the final squad release. We may or may not get a preliminary squad with that. We will point out any surprises, any notable non-selections that may be our definite or likely candidates here who don't make it, any unexpected inclusions, so possible but unlikely or seemingly off the squad candidates that do make it, and any new players. There's always a few new players on the squad, which we'll introduce to you. We're going to update the injuries we told you about today and any new injuries that happen between now and then. And in part 2, that's where we focus our attention a bit more on who the starters are going to be. So we hope you join us for that. That is our look at part 1 of Ecuador, and we will see you next time. We would like to thank Michael Foster and Pixabay for the wonderful music in this mediacast. The title of the piece used is Look to the Sky, Tribal Dance Beats Native American.